a spring and a retainer falling out as he went down the way here. You'll see that silver piece come out first after a big clunk as things get unsettled, and then the actual coil springs. Spring has sprung at Charlotte. Here's Larry McReynolds.
When I won this race about 25 years ago with Davey Allison in 1991, the rate of our right rear spring was maybe 350, maybe 375 pounds. But over time, teams started looking for mechanical grip and aero grip. The right rear spring got stiffer and stiffer. A few years ago, teams were running a spring like this, over 3,000 pounds in the right rear. But over the last couple of years, they've been going the other direction, much softer, like you'd run in the right rear at Martinsville Road Course, like 150 pounds. When you run a spring that soft, once you travel it, you're coil binding the spring. Now, what I mean by coil binding is the spring travels until every coil touches each other, and that's as far as the car can travel. Now, what's the advantage of coil binding the right rear? Well, A, no matter what the fuel load or what the race pace is, the car stays at the same height. The other thing, it seals this right rocker skirt to the racetrack, and that's a ton of downforce for the race car.
Thanks, Larry. Now, if I understand spring rate correctly, those numbers of pounds, that spring doesn't weigh 300 pounds. It takes 300 pounds of pressure to compress it 1 inch.
Yeah, and as you coil bind, even though it's maybe 100 or 125 pound spring, you know, like Larry was talking about, you get it compressed all the way down where it coil binds to get the height, but the rate of that spring at that point is up there around 3,000, 4,000, 5,000 pounds of rate because it basically stops and it's solid, like what some of these springs are that you're seeing. So some teams choose to run a huge, big 3,000 to 5,000 pound right rear spring and hold the car at that height that way, and others choose to try to do it with the coil binding.
Yeah, as it travels, it gains rate. I mean, as it compresses, the rate continues to shoot up.
It shoots up a lot when it gets cold. But when
it's solid, you got it.
Let's take a look at most laps run in this practice. There is quite a disparity between Kyle Busch, Brian Scott, and everyone else. Matt?
Mike, Kyle Busch going old school. Last weekend here for the All-Star race, he had number 75, but he's back on the 18 in a red, white, and blue paint scheme. It seems like the one constant this year, you just need to go to places you've never won before because you just have so much success and a lot of motivation, and this is another place. How important is this to your racing resume, especially this Crown Jewel event?
For the Crown Jewel event, that's pretty important. You know, it's certainly one of the ones I want to win that I haven't won yet, and this is a place that I haven't won at yet either. So we've had some pretty good success here over the years, but it seems the track's definitely changing as the years go by, and definitely getting a lot different. So we were off a little bit last week. We didn't feel like we were the best, so we wanted to make sure that we unloaded today in race trim and try to get a better feel for what we needed to do, what we needed to work on to get ourselves better for Saturday's practices and kind of get a head start on the weekend, if you will. So we're swapping over now to get into the Q trim with this M&M's Camry, and we'll see what kind of speed it has right now, but we're not expecting to be very high up on the charts. We just look forward to getting some solid laps in right now to get a good balance and a good feel for what we need to know for tonight.
And if you look at the left rear quarter panel, you can see that the red M&M, Mike, he's got these stars and stripes top hat. A lot of patriotism down on the 18.
Okay. I was in the room yesterday during voting for the NASCAR Hall of Fame. The defending champion is a voter each year. Well, if there's a drought for the number 18, it's these 2 weeks. He's been runner-up at Charlotte twice, and next week we go to the Pocono Zone, the Pocono Mountains of Pennsylvania, where Kyle also has twice been a runner-up, but no wins.
Well, let's just remember, we started the season off, he had 4 tracks that he had never won at before. He's already down to 2, so I wouldn't be surprised if he checks them all off, all 4 in one season.
I wouldn't either. Can you believe there's 2 tracks he had 1 on?
Very little that he does would surprise me.